Here we are. We have just arrived at Venice and we are following Renata, our guide, to the water bus that will take us to the centre of Venice.
In Rome, they have black.
And that's, as I said, the Norwegian Jade cruise ship in behind there. And we're on the water bus out of Venice, or going round Venice to get to St. Mark's Square. And this is the Norwegian Jade cruise ship.
The approach to the open sea is situated behind an island called Lido. And that island is the only island where you can use a car in Venice. That island separates the lagoon from the open sea.
5 cruise ships in at the minute.
Green boat just in front of us transports garbage, so everything has to be transported by boat.
The Seabourn Odyssey just over here.
The coffin, the boat. Also the fire brigade uses boats as well. An ambulance is a boat. Everything has to be brought in by boat as well. And that makes the cost of transport, cost of everything, extremely high, the cost of transport. So we'll turn to the left. We are entering in a channel called Canale della Giudecca, the Giudecca Canal, which is the deepest among all the canals in Venice.
Across the Mediterranean.
About 13 meters, deep enough for these big cruise liners. And this ferry boat on the left comes from the island Lido. The only island among the 118 islands where you can use a car, a bicycle, a moped, cats and dogs. But we have been lucky during our boat trip. So this is the beginning of a canal named Canale della Giudecca. Port of Venice at the moment. This is first.
This is policing Italian style, Venetian style.
And this tradition is celebrated since the 16th century. It started about 500 years ago with the construction of a bridge, only for 2 days, and during the 3rd weekend of July. Yes, I mentioned people who used to work in these salt works, their wage was called a salario, a salary, as the people who used to work in these salt works, they were not paid with money. Their wage consisted in salt, in salt. So the people who used to work in these salt works were paid with white gold. And from there comes the word salario. This wage was called salario.
Catamaran.
As it was not money, it was salt. Salario. This word is known in other languages salary, salarium, salaris. Yes, the end of the Grand Canal behind that second flat building where you see the French flag. Unfortunately, another disaster in
Nice.
France yesterday evening. Nice, 80 people, terrorism. In Nice, national bank holiday in Paris yesterday, and a lorry passed along the boulevard, 80 people. Very, very sad. That's the reason why you see the French flag half-mast on the left, close to the beginning of the Grand.
French flag at half-mast in honour of the people who died yesterday at Nice in a terrorist attack at a firework display.
That's the end of the Grand Canal, the famous merchants in Venice. And on your left-hand side, that building with the pointed arches, that's the Doge's Palace. I brainwashed you this morning with the pillar top by the lion. So at the corner of the Doge's Palace, you can see the pillar top by the lion. On the very first one, you see a white statue with a dragon, and that was the first patron saint of Venice, San Giorgio, of Greek origins. And on pillar number 2, beside the building with the pointed arches, you can see your main landmark. So that has to be your main landmark for the way back to Hotel Gabrielli. The pillar with the lion, and then the 4 bridges. Yes, this boat on the left comes from Croatia.
The Adriatic jet. Very strange looking boat. Catamaran.
Yes, it takes about 2.5 hours for them as well by boat from Slovenia and Croatia to get to Venice. After that statue, close to that scaffolding, you can see bridge number 3. The church is allowed to advertise with their name on the scaffoldings. Between the 4 bridges, you will find street vendors. The street vendors try to sell you fake sunglasses, selfie sticks, fake handbags. You are not allowed to purchase from these street vendors. You can recognize them.
We have just stopped off at the movie land of Venice, Disneyland for tourists. And here we have the gondoliers taking folk out for a wee trip around the bay. €20 a go per person, and they don't even sing. Bridge of Sighs up ahead, I think. The Doge's Palace just ahead of me, and on this side of the canal is the prison. And these people up on top of the bridge are taking pictures of the famous Bridge of Sighs, where the prisoners were led to their deaths in this prison behind me. That's the famous Bridge of Sighs there. Last taste of freedom for those people looking out. Oh, that's it. You busy, love?
야 오지 마. 야 우리만 가자.
And we're just approaching the Rialto Bridge, another famous bridge in Venice. A lot of boat activity here. And this is the famous Rialto Bridge. And it's been renovated, and apparently those shutters or scaffolding have been up on it for the last year, so we've been very fortunate in actually seeing it. And I'm on top of the Rialto Bridge, and we're just near St. Mark's Square here. This is the small St. Mark's Square, and the big St. Mark's Square is just round the corner. Now in the big St. Mark's Square, and it is big, and there's a concert being planned. And there's the tower. And you don't buy a cup of coffee on any of these areas here. €20 for a cup of coffee. Total rip-off. This before us is St. Mark's Basilica. It took centuries to build, very opulent. Look at the painting and the decoration up at the top, the sculptors. Very ornate. If you like that sort of thing. All human life is here. And here we are queuing to get into the tower. We've just come up the Campanile di San Marco, at the top of the tower here. And this is what you're getting here. It's quite an extensive walkway, and then the bells, and then the lifts, or the lift. So it's pretty good. It's certainly worth the €8. I'm looking down into the square, and there's the cruise ships all sitting all in line that we saw coming in. There's all the gondolas waiting in line. And all the water buses further along. Just going to let you see the most important place near St. Mark's Square, and it's the toilets. If you can't get to the toilets, then everything else is very unpleasant. And I'm just a few yards from St. Mark's Square, and these shoes here are €1,270, and so are these. Isn't that amazing? €1,620 for the high heels and the little bag. Venice Republic has to come in by water. And these boats here are delivery men. And then there's a taxi boat. Today you call a boat the same way as we call a taxi. We are ready to rock and roll back to Riva, heading off to Riva, but first of all we have to get the water bus to the coach park at the other end of Venice. So we've got a wee boat trip, and these boat taxis don't hang about. They all come in on slots, and their slot is maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get their passengers boarded. And if you miss the slot, then there's no mercy given. We've arrived back at the bus station to get our connection back to Riva.